No, your YouTube isn't broken. And no, that wasn't a mistake. That was 8 seconds. And if you're Gen Z, which if you're watching this you probably are, that's your average attention span. And as I was planning this video, I was almost really scared to put that in, because if like the science speaks for itself, a lot of people will have just clicked off of my video. And maybe you've already scrolled down and you're in the comments right now trying to comment like first, or you're fighting someone in the comments, or you've put the video into 2x speed, or you're browsing like the recommended videos on the side. And if that just described you and you're guiltily looking at me again, you need this video more than anyone else, because although you might not realize it, a short attention span might be costing you valuable points off your grade, deducting your rank as a student. Studies show that a short attention span can significantly impact students' academic performance across various domains. Research has shown that attention span plays a crucial role in academic achievement. And so you want to self-improve, you want to become a good student, right? But by having a poor attention span, you're practically unwinding all of that progress and holding yourself back. And so if you're anything like me and you'd go on YouTube to like search up a maths tutorial and you'll end up watching hours and hours upon random videos, or maybe you try and read a book and like the words like just aren't wording, this video might be the missing piece of the puzzle that finally allows you to get the grades that you deserve. But here's a warning: if you're just kind of wanting to fix your attention span and you're just like kind of like wanting to improve your life as a student, this video isn't for you, and please click off, because this is for students who actually want more for themselves and are dedicated into getting their attention span back. The point of change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. And so if you're still here and you don't want to let any more of your potential go to waste, let's start getting those grades and becoming the best student that you can be with these 7 tips to claim your attention span back. And so the first chapter is mindset. It's true that social media, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, are distractions, and it makes it harder for us to focus. And these are things that are bad for our attention span. That is true. But whoa, put down your pitchfork, because although like everyone like tends to get angry at social media, they blame social media, they don't actually realize what the real problem is. Social media isn't inherently bad. Not everyone who uses social media has a bad attention span, right? Social media was actually meant to just enhance our abilities as a human. It was meant to be something that helps us. And so we need to take responsibility and realize that it's how you use social media that's the problem. Because I really like this quote: between a stimulus and a response, there is a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. And in our response lies our growth and freedom, said Viktor Frankl. So it's all about what you choose to do to reply to the stimulus. And that's either going to make you a good student with a good attention span, or a bad student with a fried attention span. Acknowledging and understanding that depending on our response to distractions, the fact that we can actually have an impact on our attention span is crucial. Because when you're just angry at social media and saying that's the problem but not doing anything about it, you're basically just praying that like TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat get deleted tomorrow, and that's when your attention span will be reclaimed. But when you realize that you can do something about it, you start to have control over it. And another part of the mindset that's really crucial is to think really deeply about the consequences. Smokers only started to quit smoking when they realized that there's a consequence: lung cancer, bad health. You're only going to want to get off social media and have a better attention span when you realize the consequences of that. The consequence of a shorter attention span is worse than you think. For students, it means worse grades, up to 60% worse than your peers who don't have a fried attention span. It means not being able to focus on study material, so it means that you have to review it more times, meaning studying will take longer. It means not being able to read books properly, not being able to listen actively in class, and you're not going to be able to take in information at the same rate. But also in the macro sense, it means not being able to focus on the conversation when you have with your parents over dinner. It may mean that you're not able to be there for a friend who really needs someone to talk to, and you're not able to be present in real life. So what can you do? Well, this leads nicely onto the second, which is allocate time. Allocate a time in the day to do social media and check your messages and your emails and all of these things that you end up micro-checking multiple times a day. The reason that social media is harmful is because every moment that we're bored, we've replaced that sense of boredom with stimulation, scrolling, checking emails, like etc., right? People are scared to be bored. In a line, you're like ready to order food, but like that 3-minute wait, you can't stand it, so you just end up scrolling. Studies also prove that when you have your phone near you, that anticipation of getting a message or notification kills your attention span. So for me, I use this app called ScreenZen, and it blocks all of the main apps that I get like distracted by: Gmail, Instagram, messages, etc. for forever basically. And you have to actively choose to unlock the app. But when I go to the gym, I press this button which says disable for 60 minutes. And while at the gym and in between sets, I can freely reply to messages, check my emails, scroll, check Instagram stories. Because let's be honest, if I told you to just delete social media, you wouldn't. And I'll be honest, I want to check my stories. I want to see what my friends are up to. And that's fine because I've allocated a time for it. And since I have a time to check it, I'm not anticipating notifications anymore. I'm not like randomly going to check it throughout the day anymore, because that thought doesn't have to be at the forefront of my mind anymore, since I know that unless it's allocated time, I'm not going to do that thing. And then the next thing that you should do to reclaim your attention span is to actively do things. A great way to improve your attention span is to do things that actually require your active attention, like podcasts or books. When we scroll use social media, you're not actually engaging your brain actively. You're actually just in like a brain rotting trance state, right? You're not actually watching. Like if I asked you what are the last 2 TikTok or Instagram reels you watch, you wouldn't be able to answer. And when I was in Korea, I was sitting next to this like elderly lady, and she was actually on TikTok. And I remember this because it was quite shocking. I've never seen someone that old on TikTok, right? But the interesting thing was, she was watching like English like tutorials. Like she was watching like this lady in front of a whiteboard giving like mini English lessons. And what I noticed was like these videos like 1-2 minutes long, but like the elderly lady next to me would be watching these Instagram like shorts. This lady would be watching shorts all the way through to the end, and when the video was done, she'd watch the next one. And so when you're actually focusing like that and actually watching the video for the sake of like actively watching, it wouldn't be bad. It would actually be good for your attention span, but that's not what happens for a lot of the time. So try reading or listening to podcasts. This isn't sponsored, but just so you guys know, like I'm telling the truth. When I'm on the train or transport now, I either listen to an audiobook or I read an article from The Economist. And it's tough. I'm listening to the 12 Rules of Life by Jordan Peterson, and his voice is really monotonous and I feel like sleeping a lot of the time. I'll listen for 4 minutes just to realize that I didn't even catch what he was saying, and I was like mindlessly listening, and so I have to rewind. But each time you do this, you're improving your attention span, and it's just a better way of using your time anyway as a student. You're actively learning in these time slots. The number one tip for getting good at subjects that I was told at school, and also in open day for LSE, like the thing that they all unanimously agreed that would make you into a better student was wider reading and also just listening to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks. And so since you're going to have to do them anyway, why not replace bad habits and also improve your attention span at the same time? And quickly before we go on, I want to take a moment to talk about my program, the Student Accelerator. And this isn't a normal like course or program, because through like guest calls, interviews, experts, I'm gonna help enrich your journey as a student and give you all the means necessary to succeed and get the best grades that you deserve. I'm gonna share the exact protocols that I followed to get these set of perfect grades in my GCSEs. And if that interests you, make sure to check out the first link in the description, where I have a free study masterclass that introduces this whole concept. But anyway, back to the video. You should always consume to absorb. When you consume anything, have the mindset of you're gonna absorb information. For a while, I used to watch K-dramas and YouTube videos all at like 2 times speed, thinking that I'm saving time and being productive, without realizing that it's all destroying my attention span. Consuming to absorb information is a key skill, since when you're listening to lectures or like listening to a teacher, that's what you need to get good at, right? And I think because I was good at this skill and I was able to absorb information when my teacher told me it, that reduced the amount of time I had to study by a lot. And so you can listen, but you need to learn how to listen. Whatever you do, give it your full attention. And the way that you can do this, and this leads on nicely, is to do mini summaries. A great way to improve your attention span is to do what these people did. When you're watching a video, is to make mini summaries. Turn what you learn into your own knowledge. And this is basically a skill of condensing and note-taking anyway, and it's actually active revision. But more importantly, you're making just like general information that I'm giving out into something that's more personal. And studies show that when you do this, you're far more likely to take action in what you learn and actually see a change. From now on, when you watch my videos, or like after this video, make your own mini summary of the video. Since you're having to engage and actually think about like what key takeaways to take, your attention is not only going to be more on the video, so you're going to see more results, you're going to absorb it for longer and actually do it. And so type yours in the comment right now after you finish this. And lastly, the tip I have is to just be bored. When was the last time you were bored? I was in Korea recently, right? And since I had no data, I find myself looking outside the window a lot more, like on public transport, and actually just being present in the moment. That's when I got my best thoughts. That's when I got like my most like great ideas for YouTube videos. I was feeling fresh, present, and aware. And it felt like this, like those kind of sci-fi movies, right, where you like unlock like the hidden potential of your brain. But that's really what it felt like. Embrace boredom, and even if it's just like 5-10 minutes each day, make that a habit, because that's 5-10 minutes that usually just like passes by so quickly when you're scrolling. But those 5 minutes are going to feel so long and refreshing when you actually just do nothing. You'll suddenly become how aware and like how much time you have, and you're going to be able to improve your attention span by a lot. Enjoy it and take action in what you learned today. And remember, if you watch this far, you're part of like already like the 0.01% of people who actually watch this video. And so if you want to like lock that in and take your studies to the next level, become like whatever level you are at, level up your study game in some way, make sure to check out the Student Accelerator, where I promise you'll learn some valuable tips that you'll take with you for life, because you're going to be a lifelong learner, right? So if that interests you, make sure to check that out with the first link in the description. But as always, take action, and I'll see you in the next one.